All right, today I've been asked, how does the Brunswick pinsetter cycle? Like when you throw the ball, what makes it start a cycle? Well, there's two different ways of doing it. Mainly, when you have a Brunswick Model A pinsetter, it is a mechanical system. I'll show you that one, which I have on this pinsetter, which is now a Model A, was an A2. And the A2 had its own setup as well. There are also add-ons later on that you can get on the Brunswick pinsetter that automatically cycle the machine when you throw a ball with like a foul light detection beam on the lane, so whenever the ball crosses it, it pushes the reset button basically, which is really good when you got kids bowling now. So it's pretty much, you don't have to roll the ball and they stand there, they don't get a ball back, they throw more balls, or they don't know what to do. It resets automatically. But back when they first invented the pinsetter, they didn't have any of that stuff. So let me show you real quick how an A triggers, and then I'll show you the remnants of what I have on mine from how the A2 triggered before. And I'll try to insert some pictures in there to show you what it looks like. Okay, on the Model A pinsetter, you just have this rod right here, whereas on the A2 you have what's called a shotgun or a rake release mechanism. I'll find some pictures and show you that, but it would have been here, which is what I had on this machine before. And whenever you threw the ball, it would basically make a compressible rod out of this rod that you see right here. That one rod right there, yeah. Anyways, the rake release mechanism would collapse it, which would allow the rake to drop, and then when it cycled, it would follow the cam, and then it would re-latch and become a rod again at that length. But it was a collapsible rod. This is the shotgun. There is only a single rod there back when it first came out, and whenever the ball hit the cushion, it triggered the clutch, and then the rake would drop when it follows the cam, which is right here. There's two cams. This is one that hasn't been used since it was a Model A, so it's just kind of there, has no purpose. This one is the rake, and then this one is for the scissors, for when you have the deck shifting and the scissors and all that operation. But this middle one is the one for the rake height. And you see it's got the roller connected to that, which goes to the shotgun. And up here, there's a very fine gap right here. So when you bowl, you hit the cushion, which pushes this rod, which pushes this rod, which releases this enough to where right here it will release that mechanism. And then when the rake cycles, this will latch again, because right now it's compressed. And when the machine cycles, it'll lock back into place again. There it goes, it just locked. And that's the height. And then it pushes the rake up. See, it's riding that cam. Then when you just hit the reset button, it rides the cam the whole time. It doesn't release the shotgun, it just rides the cam. And what happens is up here, you see on the back of the electrical box, there would be a clip on here, on the rake lift shaft right here. So whenever the rake would come up, it would lift this switch up. So whenever the rake would drop, this thing would be released, because this would pivot. You get the click inside of here, which is basically the reset button. It's got a built-in about a 2-second delay in it. So it would drop, it would wait about 2 seconds, then it would basically hit the reset button, which would have been mounted back here when it was an A2. So right here I've got the solenoid would have been mounted here, so whenever the rake dropped, it would hit the reset button, which is a plunger, which would pull this back and release it, and there goes the clutch. See, now on the A, instead of having the reset solenoid right here, the reset solenoid is mounted up here on the detector. If you ever wondered what those two ears were, you got this aft set, which is for a foul linkage, that we're working on trying to make it work again. But this forward one is the reset solenoid on the Model A pin setter. And on here is what they call a hockey stick. This is what triggers the A pin setter when you throw the ball. It pivots right down there. So whenever you hit the cushion, it pivots in the middle, pivots this forward, which pushes this, which pushes that, which releases the clutch. Let me show you here real quick. By pushing forward on it, you release that. There goes the clutch. Now on a Model A, which is different from an A2, you have a built-in time delay on the back of the forward one. I'll show you that here. Here is the needle valve on the A pin setter. A2s, they may have it, but it's not utilized. You crank this needle valve in. A lot of them, they just put a bolt in there. A lot of them, you can back it out and you'll have no time delay. But I got this actually pushed in a little bit, so there is that little bit of a slow rise when you reset that thing. It's all controlled by that little orifice in the 4-to-1. And there's a needle valve inside of that, and that allows for the oil to pass slowly through it. So whenever you pull this back, you'll notice this is what actually engages the machine. This is the clutch stop arm right there. As long as that's underneath it, the machine's not going to cycle. But when this would push right there, releases that, there's a couple of second delay. There it goes. It's a mechanical time delay when you bowl on an A pin setter that the A2 doesn't have. On the A2, as soon as you pull this back, that immediately releases this. But on the A, you got the needle valve. That's how you get your time delay. It's adjustable. You can make it as long or as short as you want, as long as it's got the setup in there. Now I'm back here looking at the hockey stick from this angle. See where it's mounted right here. Your ball hits down there. It stays here. It pivots in the middle, forces this to go up, which pushes this, which triggers the machine. Show you that again. If I can do it from this angle, I can't. So, well, there it goes. It's basically this hits, pushes forward on that, releases that. But that's pretty much the way to cycle the Brunswick pin setter. As I say, there's newer stuff that's out there now that triggers a machine with a light beam on the lane, like an automatic reset system, which is really, really good. But back in 1956, this is the hockey stick. This is what triggers the Brunswick pin setter when your ball hits the cushion. That's all we got. Hope you enjoyed the video.